Flosstube. This is Erica with Look What's in My Hoop. It is January 5th, 2025, and I am here with Flosstube, what's the number? 28, I think. Just a regular Flosstube. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season and a happy and healthy new year. We started off the year with a bang where I live. We've had several days of these bands of snow squalls coming through, and it's very windy. It's very cold. There's a lot of snow, a lot of unsafe driving conditions, but I've been lucky. I've been off, so I haven't had to venture out when driving in this weather this time. I've had plenty of times where I had to drive in bad weather, but not this time. So I thought it would be a good day to do a floss tube and get everyone all caught up. There's always a cat crawling all over. This is Pumpkin. She's cranky. As soon as I put piles on the table, it's a magnet for them, and one or more come crawling to see what's going on. It's so funny. But I have a lot to share. So I have some FFOs from prior finishes. I have whips. I have quite a few new starts. I am going to talk a little bit about my plans for 2025. And I have a little pile of haul here that I haven't shown over the last couple of months, and I don't even know if I'll get through the whole pile, but there's some definite things that I want to share. So let's dive right in. I think what I'll do, well, how about I just show finishes, my FFOs. So the first thing that I'm going to show actually isn't cross stitch, it's an embroidery piece. I did this years ago, and I stuck it in a basket down in the basement, kind of forgot about it, and came across it a couple months ago when I was looking for something else. And it's an embroidery piece that I was stitching for my middle daughter, Tara, and I never finished it. I don't know where I got the pattern. I think it was like a freebie pattern online. And you know, you just transfer the pattern onto this fabric that dissolves in water, and then I just stitch it. So I like the red work, but I thought it was this cute little Scotty dog. She wanted it in a hoop with a little ribbon, which is looking wonky, but... And I filled it with the Warm and Natural quilt batting. I just cut out, I think, maybe 3 circles of that batting, filled this, and then I just put this on the back and glued it down with Eileen's. I did cut it with those pinking shears so that the edges wouldn't fray. And then just a little rope to hang it up. And she's glad I'm doing this video because she's been bugging me to take it and hang it up in her room. So I'm glad to have that finally done. The next FFO that I have is a pattern by Bent Creek called Let Us Be Thankful. I don't remember, I think I finished this last year with hopes that maybe I'd get an FFO for this year, but I did not. This is my finish. And I just put some rickrack around it. This wood, I don't know if it's a cutting board or, well, I think maybe you could put like crackers and cheese on it, like a little tiny charcuterie board. I did get this at Hobby Lobby. The ribbon came from Hobby Lobby. But you know, when I was stitching this was one that I stitched with my friend Kim. We do a pattern together every year. I didn't love the colors, but I didn't change it out, and I just went with what was called for. And then I saw Lisa with Black Coffee and Grits a couple of videos ago show her finished product, and I wish I had seen hers first because I totally would have copied her colors. The Let Us Be Thankful is done in this beautiful, it was a dark color. I can't remember if it was like a dark burgundy or a plum, but it really was stunning. And I kind of wished I had changed mine out. But it's done. I'm not stitching it again. And it's FFO'd, so I'm kind of excited about that. Oh, there goes a little bead. Okay, the next FFO I have is a pattern from Not Forgotten Farm called Parade Sam. I did finish this sometime over the summer, and I just put it on this little backer I don't even know where I got it from. And then I just added these little buttons because I thought it needed a little something. And you can see my hot glue because I'm not great with hot glue. I'm not great at finishing, but it's done. He's cute. I think I stitched this on 32 count heroic. And I know I did have my own floss conversion I talked about in a prior video. But it's done. And I could, if I wanted to, I could sneak some twine or ribbon through here and use this as an ornament, maybe on a tree. Okay, I have 2 more FFOs. This was a pattern by Cherry Hill Stitchery called Sleigh Bells Ring. I stitched it last year and kind of forgot about it. And then as I was going through my kitted projects and my little cupboard that I have full of cross-stitching stuff, I found it. And so I decided to turn it into a little pillow. I'll probably trim these a little bit shorter. And I would like to get little jingle balls to put on the corners of the pillows, or somewhere put a jingle ball. But the only ones that I have are white, and I think I want the like the rustic bell ones, or not white bell ones. I'm not really sure, but I just stuffed it with some polyfill, and then I do a blind stitch at the bottom. It's not the greatest, but it works for me. So I did have that out just for a short time this season. And then my last FFO is a pattern I stitched called, what is it called? Lucky Charm Harmony by, I wrote it down here, Needle Treasures Nook. So Lucky Charm Harmony by Needle Treasures Nook. It was a PDF pattern I got on Etsy. And this is my finish. Now I don't love this ribbon, so I will swap the ribbon out when I can get to the craft store to find something different, but I just did it for the effect for today. This is the back, to some backing backing I had in hand. And I did my blind stitch at the top here because I knew I was going to put a ribbon in these little pin minis. But I like it better once I can get a different ribbon that goes better. But it's cute. I'll put this out soon for St. Patrick's Day. And again, I just stuffed it with some fiberfill. I do have walnut shells. I don't use those very often. But this was stitched on a 32 count buttercream Lugana. It was a like scrap piece that I had left over from another pattern. So, and that is it for my FFOs. I was pretty proud of myself. I think I counted up 4 that I want to have framed. Well, 1 I'll frame myself. I just have to get the frame. And the other 3 I'll take to the framer. And then I have, I think, I don't know, 2 or 3 that I need to still finish. 1 I'll do myself. And then the other one I'm going to send to someone. It's like a 3D pumpkin. And I don't want to bother with that. I'd like someone else to do it. And I can't remember what the other pattern is, but I'm whittling down my finished pile so that hopefully I don't have all these pieces to FFO. Not that I have a ton. I don't stitch that fast and get things done that fast. Okay, let's talk about some, let's see, I guess I can show you my whips. So this is Traditional Sampler Chart. It's a Keep Me Sampler by Moira Blackburn. I don't know if you heard, my husband's just going down to the basement, so if you hear the creaking in the stairs, that's him. This tree is what sold me. I just love it. And I love these little trees here. So the willow tree, I don't know if these are little pine trees. I love these little birds. I mean, I love the whole thing. I love the whole thing. And I had started it sometime last year. on this fabric. I think this is Milk and Honey. Yes, it's a 36 count Milk and Honey. And this is what I had, you know, I didn't get super far. But there was something about this fabric I didn't love. And I've stitched on it before for other things and it was fine. So I'm not really sure why I didn't. I think because my stitches just looked, they looked so big to me. I don't know. It was 1 thread over 2, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 1. It was 36 count. So I decided that I was going to restart this project. And these are all the, there is some DMC, but these are all of the Weeks Dye Works called for. And I love this. Oh my goodness. It takes so much of this, but this Blue Spruce by Weeks Dye Works. Beautiful. Love it, love it. Oh, look at all that variegation. Of course, I have fuzz on mine. It's not a shocker, but I think it calls for, let's see, five skeins of that Blue Spruce, a few skeins of the charcoal. I don't know, beautiful. And then I think there's maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 DMCs. I'm sorry, my nose itches. It always itches when I go to do a video. But I decided to start it over on a 40 count fabric that I get from Be Stitch Me. I belong to their monthly club and I love their fabrics. They are beautiful. And I just restarted it. I don't know. Let me check my little book here. Did I even write it down? Nope, I didn't. I think I restarted it. It was in December. It was towards the end of the year. But I decided not to start with the border like I did the first time around. I started with this green, this border, the inside border, and then I'll do this outside border little bit by bit. But I really wanted to be able to have the option to go to some of these other areas inside the green border and not just be stuck doing the outside border. So yes, I have a needle in here, but this is what I've done so far. And I love the 40 count. And that green, it's not showing up super well in this light, but that is the Blue Spruce color. So not terribly far, although this was several, you know, it was a few hours of stitching for sure. But you'll see I kind of started this here. And then I think I'll probably go to this. I'll go to the border too at some point. I just wanted to be able to have the option to kind of jump around and not get stuck stitching one thing. I love this though. So I decided Sundays, I think other stitchers do this, Sundays are kind of a sampler Sunday and that's what they stitch. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I will be working on this one this afternoon. And I have a couple of other samplers that I would like to start. Not that I need any more starts because I don't, but that's the joy of stitching, right? Start what you want when you want. So I did work on that. This is in a bag from Jenny Simply Stitching. A couple times a year I'll buy a bag or two. I can't remember if this was this may have been a November bag from last year. They are really high quality. They're nice and big. They fit the medium-sized Nerge frame with plenty of room to spare. So it's really nice. Comes with a pretty little zipper pull. So I love her bags. I'm going to try not to zip things so it's not too annoying. I also worked on my Mill Hill Autumn Gatherings. This is an out of print chart. You can find it on the secondary market sometimes. But this one I started in 2023. I'll see if I can find a better picture and pop it up because the picture here does not do it justice. I am stitching this on 32 count Ren Lugana with all of the called for DMC, which I'm not even going to show you because it literally, like, this is my pile. This is embarrassing. I say that every time I go to show DMC because I never take the time to put it on floss drops and I don't really know why. But this is how far I've been able to get. I stitched all of this gentleman here, and I beaded him. And I put the beads in on the flowers down here. And then you can see where I frogged out. Oh, there's a hair, not surprising. This is off. I think I have to rip this whole thing out. It's off, and it's kind of bothering me. So I'm probably going to frog the whole thing out and start over stitching the Pilgrim Lady next. I think I stitched a few more words here, but I'm doing the beading as I go, and I really love it. But I'll tell you this. So I purchased all the called for beads, and there's some Mill Hill treasures, and this treasure right here, I can flip it up kind of. You can see I mean I stitched the pumpkin that's underneath it. Oh gosh, I stitched that on there tight. I don't know if you can kind of see. Anyways, you can see I stitched the pumpkin, and then I put the treasure over it. And if you look closely, you can see that there's a jack-o'-lantern face on that pumpkin. And it kind of bothered me. I didn't notice it when I purchased it. So then I went back to double check. Did I order the right treasure? Was there a change in the number, the number for the treasure, so that maybe like a long time ago this was just the plain pumpkin, then they made it a jack-o'-lantern. But if you look carefully on I got a little magnifier and I looked, the jack-o'-lantern, there is a jack-o'-lantern face on the original model, but I'm not really sure the Pilgrims and Indians carved jack-o'-lanterns then. I don't know. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that treasure there, or if I'm just going to snip it out and just go with the pumpkin that I stitched, which also looks nice. I don't know. What do you think? Am I being too picky? I don't know if I love it, but I love the rest of it. And this is really fun to do. And I love seeing the progress. I'll talk about this and my plans for a little bit later, but this is definitely on my list to get done for this year and framed so I can hang it up by Thanksgiving. Love that so much. And I do keep that one in the hoop because I work on it 5 days a week. Okay, so my next WIP is The Light of Winter from Brenda Gervais. I think I ordered this with the threads, but it said they substituted with Weeks Dye Works Brick for the called for Gentle Arts Ruby Slipper. But I do have Ruby Slipper, so I'll probably just use what's called for. And I started this, I did a little bit. This was in 2023 as well. And then I never picked it up again. And I'm not really sure why, but I did pull it back out, and I couldn't even tell you what I'm stitching this on, except I know it is a 36 count. This is the Ruby Slipper. These are the called for threads. I think, I don't know, I hope I'm not missing any, but I might be. And then there are a few DMC as well. So these are all the threads. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. So I think I stitched this little tree. I stitched these little trees. Where's my pattern? I'm gonna tell you a story. There is right here some snowflakes. I had stitched them. Do you see there's a big one, a couple little ones? I stitched that big one, and I was looking at it, and I don't know what I did the last time I pulled this out. It was so wonky. I did take it out. I'm really debating whether I want to I may put in some snowflakes, but maybe not one that intricate and as big, because I'll tell you why on another pattern. I'm having the worst time with white thread lately and with snowflakes. But I love this. I mean, I'd like to get this one done this year too because it is a whip from 2023. We will see. Okay. So the next whip I have is the Peace on Earth sampler from the Cottage Garden. I love that orange and pink house. And if you remember in my last video when I pulled this out, I had a lot of frogging to do. These are all of the called for threads. They're so pretty. And I am stitching this on a 40 count almond milk linen by Grace Notes Fabrics. I didn't iron anything because it's time consuming and I didn't have a lot of time. And this is how far I've stitched. So if you remember in my last video, I had all of this green done on this side and some green up here, but it wasn't green, it was brown, whatever the called for was. And I said that I was going to frog it out and swap it because I wanted my poinsettia flowers here to have green leaves because otherwise they just looked dead. I didn't like that. So I did frog all of that out and I did stitch it with the green. I finished this little motif here. I think I had to frog out a little bit too because this was the same color as these leaves and it looked brown. So I frogged that out. The reindeer was already done. And then I started the big flower motif over here. So you can kind of see. It's beautiful. I really love working on this. It is really good. It was not a joy to frog on 40 count, but it really is a joy to stitch. And so this will definitely be getting some love this year. I don't know if I'll get it done in time for Christmas this year, but I do love it. But I started this 1/1 here, this little zigzag, and all of these words are 1/1, and it is a nightmare. I am really struggling. I don't know if it's because I've done 1/1 before. I didn't love it. I don't love it, but I did it. So I don't know if it's just the zigzag and it's just not easy for me to count and I'm screwing up. So I'm thinking I might stitch this little center basket of flowers and try to do the words 1/1 first. I think I might have it. I don't know why this zigzag it's killing me. So I can show you. Where is it? It's such a tiny, tiny little pathetic start of the 1/1, and I'm struggling. I don't even know if my count is right there. So if you have any tips, I don't even know. I mean, maybe, I'm not too proud to say that I am, maybe I'm not an experienced enough stitcher to do 1/1. I don't know. On 40 count, it was tough. I'm wondering if maybe I can rechart it because I do love the saying. And if I could just do it with regular X's. It says, I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. I love that. So I definitely want it in there. I may try to just take the time to rechart it, even though it looks beautiful here, but I don't want to be tortured. I think it'd be less time consuming to rechart it than it would be to stitch it 1/1. But I will stitch the basket. I will try the words 1/1 just to see if it's just the zigzag that's causing me grief, or if it's 1/1, then I'll rechart it. But I love this. So I will stitch anything at any time of the year. So this I hope to see before Christmas time next year. So pretty. Okay, and then I have one more whip. This was, oh no, I have a lot more whips, but this was a new start, Christmas Magic by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And sometimes I just love these little block lettering pieces. So I'm stitching this on 32 count fabric. I don't know what. It was a little scrap that I had in my stash. You can see I did finish the Santa, and I started the word jingle. Oh, I didn't put the hat on the Santa, but I did at least get the lettering done. I started the hat, but I don't have the red yet. And then I started jingle. Now this pattern calls for, oh my God, what's it called? Oh, color and cotton threads. Now, a couple of years ago, I did join the fabric or floss of the month club pack, or the packs from Color and Cotton. So I do have some, but I had none of the called for. So I just pulled out what I had from Color and Cotton, Weeks Dye Works, and Gentle Arts. I really kind of have a mix of everything, but these were the colors I picked. So Weeks Dye Works Whiskey, Color and Cotton Evergreen, Classic Colorworks Chopped Chives, Picnic Basket by Gentle Arts, Gentle Arts Oatmeal, and Color and Cotton Jelly Soup. I wasn't sure about this red. I thought maybe it was going to be too bright, but I thought I would try it, and so far, you know, I think I actually like it. So that's really been fun, covered in thread. I definitely want to have this done by Christmas. You know, lettering goes quick. I think this is one where I will take with me as kind of a little travel stitch. So, or I always bring something to work, maybe to stitch for 20 minutes during my lunch, but I rarely ever get to take a lunch. So I never stitch. I don't know why I bring it to work, but certainly there's other places that I can take it to. Stuff with the kids. Okay, so that is some of my old webs. The rest of these, well, that Primrose Cottage was a new start. But the rest of these are all new starts since I've seen you last. It's a lot. I've had three new starts just since January alone. But the first one I want to show you is Peppermint and Pine by Brenda Gervais. I got this for Christmas from my mom, and I was pretty sure I had put it on a list that of like some patterns that I wanted, and I was pretty sure she was going to get it, and I had most of the threads already, so I literally came home Christmas Day and I started stitching the tufted titmouse here. There's the owl, there's the cardinal, and I'm going to do all three. Yes, you can, honey. So I did start and finish the titmouse here. My threads are a mess. I should stop apologizing because it's just how it is. But they really are beautiful colors. And I'm stitching this on 40 count Steinbeck. It's not the called for, but it's the fabric that I had. And you can see I did get the whole bird done. I had to unpick the candy cane and restitch that. But this is my problem. Okay. Big snowflake, big snowflake, big snowflake, big snowflake, big snowflake, big snowflake. I have stitched this half twice and this section twice, and I've ripped it out. So 4 times. I've ripped out these snowflakes 4 different times. I'm having a terrible time. Part of it is because the color that it calls for is grits, which I don't have a ton left on this skein here, but for whatever reason, because it's one strand, it's really ghosty. Like here it doesn't look too bad because you've got a bunch of threads, but when you're doing one thread, It's very ghosty, and my stitches were terrible. Like, it was embarrassing for me to, it would be embarrassing for me to put this out for just anyone to see. Because, I mean, I'm not that I'm a super perfect stitcher, but this really looked like, you know, a 4-year-old had done it. And so I'm wondering if, instead of trying to do those big snowflakes, if I just do little smaller ones, make it much more sparse. And do you think it needs the snowflakes even? I mean, I do think the snowflakes would add a nice touch. I tried different kinds of thread. I tried, oh my goodness, what's it called? It's much thicker. It comes in a huge skein, and I can't think of the name of it. I don't know. I tried I don't know, 2 or 3 different kinds of threads. I don't like the way it looks, but I do love these little birds so much. And I'm going to stitch all of them, but the question is, do I stitch the snowflakes, or, you know what, I want to frame these. I want cute little frames, or maybe one frame with all 3 of them, like in a separate, like they're in each separate compartment, but it's one big frame, or little individual frames. Or do I just use a board, like a mat, and frame them? What do you think? I don't want to waste too much of my time on these, you know, trying to determine what to do with those silly snowflakes. But it's not working for me, which is why I ripped out that snowflake on Light of Winter, because it also looked awful. So I figure maybe I just can't stitch snowflakes. There's a couple of DMCs, nothing crazy. And then these threads, which I dump like this, and this is why they're always a mess. I'm going to stitch the other 2 birds on the same fabric though as well, and then I'll have a nice little set. And you know, it does not take long. I started this on Christmas Day. I think within 3 days I had it done, and that include, well, not the snowflakes obviously, but it includes stitching and frogging out those snowflakes 4 times. It does look nice though, doesn't it? I don't know, give me some tips. Why can't I stitch snowflakes? But they were also ghosty, which I guess is okay. They don't need to be super bright. It just gives the effect, even if they're not super visible. Okay, now I also started in December Let It Snow by Brenda Gervais. This was a kit that I got from Farm Girl Dry Goods. This was before I stitched the pine berries, or peppermint and pine bird, and had all the trouble with those snowflakes, because this is, look at all those snowflakes. I'm gonna die. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I haven't even started them yet. So anyways, I am stitching this on the called for fabric, which I believe is, oh, there go my threads. 40 Count Tobias by Seraphim. These, it did come with all of the called for thread. Whoops, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. There's some DMC, and then here's the Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works threads. And it also comes with a little backing fabric. So pretty much comes with everything you need, unless maybe you want like a little bit of trim around the edge if you're turning it into a pillow. But I started this, and this is how far I've stitched. These are going to come out because I think I'm going to stitch little beads in there to show like the little individual snowflakes. But I'm going to have to decide if I want to stitch. I'm probably going to try to stitch all of those big snowflakes, but we'll see. It's a cute little cardinal on top of his snowman hat. There's some back stitching and French knots here, you know, to show the holly leaves and berries, but I didn't do those yet. So really cute. You know, I just throw a thread in here, or yeah, in there, here and there, and Eventually it'll get done. I mean, if I focused on it, I could probably have it done in just a few days, but so many things to stitch. Okay. Now I had heard, I'd been watching quite a bit of Flosstube. Oh, speaking of that, I want to say thank you to Be a Blessing Stitcher. She had shouted me out in my video before last, and my last video, I was very distracted. My little one was here, and my computer kept shutting off because I was running out of storage, and I completely forgot. So I just wanted to mention the shout out and to say thank you, and that I appreciate you and I love your videos. And I just am grateful and thankful that you mentioned me. Okay, but anyways, so I've been watching several Flosstubes, and people were talking about doing a blessing sampler, and I never heard of that before. And so one of the Flosstubers had explained, you know, that it's a piece that you start in the month of January for the new year, and you finish it in the month of January, and it's a blessing sampler. And I loved the idea, but, you know, I'm a little superstitious. It's kind of weird, but I thought, oh, what if I start something and I don't finish it in January? Are we cursed? So I was like a little bit hesitant, but I don't know, I just love the idea. So on a whim yesterday, I decided to see what I had, if I had a pattern that I wanted to do, if I had the threads to do it, and fabric, so I didn't have to waste time ordering stuff. And I decided I am going to do it. And I picked the Scarlet House Scarlet Berries. Yeah, Scarlet House Scarlet Berries. And I think I've had this pattern for about a year. Now, I am not going to stitch all of this. I don't really care for that. And I didn't like that before when I bought the pattern. Originally, I bought it and I was just going to stitch this little part down here. But I think I am going to stitch this. And what I will do is put all of the initials of all of us. There's 6, so my husband, myself, my stepson, and our 3 daughters. And it'll come to 18 letters if I use first, middle, and last name. So I may have to stick like maybe a little flower down here, but I'll figure that out. And I think I can get this done. There are a couple of threads that I am missing, but I had most of them. I think there's 12 or 13, and I had 8 or 9. Yeah, I have 9. So there's, I don't know, just maybe 3 that I was missing. So I did order those. I had an order going in for something else that I needed anyways from 123 Stitch, and those ship pretty quickly. So by the end of the week, I should have them. And I am stitching this on Sand Dollar, which is a 40 count fabric from Be Stitch Me. This was November. Yeah, it was November's fabric for the month. But I just started this on the 3rd, I think. So I love that little peacock. He's not done. One of the colors I'm waiting for is mulberry. There's mulberry flowers here too. And then I have to frog out this heart. I messed that up. Somehow my count is off. But I love the little basket of oranges. And there we go. See, it's pretty bright, and I love stitching on it. And I have a spot right, I think, in my front entryway that I'm going to put it. I'll have this framed. I do put glass over my framed pieces. So, you know, because our front entryway, it's shoes come off and boots come off, and at least a few times a year I'm wiping down the walls from mud or who knows. So if I have it framed with glass, it won't get ruined. But I think it'll be nice to have it right in the front of the house. And it's a pretty, very neutral fabric. I don't know if I'd had more time to plan if I would have picked a fabric so plain, but at the same time, I just love that it lets the little motifs pop. So I really think, if I work a little on this every day, I will have no problem getting this done by the end of the month. And those peacocks are my favorite. And I love the little kitty and the little rabbit. It's just in the, I love blackbirds. You got the blackbirds. I don't know. I just love it so much. So this is my blessing sampler for the family. So much fun. And so it's, a sense of accomplishment. You get a little motif done. You're like, oh, I got something done. It feels good. So that's really fun. I probably won't put in anything today because it's after 12 already, and I do want to get some time in on my more of a Blackburn sampler. but I love this. And I love participating in the Blessing Sampler for the month. Super fun. Okay guys, this might be a little bit longer video. I also started, now I was stitching sampler, I'm sorry, I'm saying a lot. Sampler of the seasons, and I had spring, summer, fall, and winter, and I had started the winter one. I got maybe a third of the way through. I didn't like the fabric that I had chosen, so I decided to restitch it on a different fabric, but I hadn't restarted it yet. I just knew that I was going to. So then a couple of days ago, I thought, you know, let me start with the spring one because maybe I can get it done and framed by spring, and then I can work on the summer one, have it done by summer, etc., etc. So I did start the spring last night actually. And my goal is to have this done by the end of February so that I can take it to get framed and have it by the beginning of April. It's kind of a lofty goal. I don't know if it'll happen, but this is what I've been able to finish so far. And this is on 40 count Steinbeck as well. I love this color. I love this fabric. And these are, I might be missing one or two. I think this was part of what's coming in the order from 123 Stitch. I can't remember. There might just be one. I think I have most of them. Really beautiful. But look, holy Moses. It calls for 5 skeins of this avocado, which is the green. Now I think this calls to stitch on 30, which I'm not. I'm stitching on 40, so I definitely shouldn't need all of these. I don't know if this is 2/2, I'm assuming, right? If you're stitching on 30, you'd probably stitch 2/2, and I'm only stitching 1. So I'll probably have at least a couple of skeins left over. But I remember when I purchased these, I bought all of the threads, and I went with the number that they recommended, because at the time I didn't know what I was going to stitch it on. So, but whew, that is a lot of green. But I love this grasshopper. That is a really pretty color. So anyways, I started that. Really fun. I think it's pretty ambitious to think I'm going to get, oh, which way are we going here? All 4 of them done this year, but maybe I can shoot for 2 this year and 2 for next year. And I do have a spot in my house where I want to put them, so I definitely want to get them done. Now, I did attend the Jingle Ball. I don't know if I talked about this in my last video. I'd never done it before. It was really fun. It's only $10. I really liked the meet and greets. And of course, there's like shopping that you can do, and you can get access to free charts from designers, and you can get patterns that are just exclusive for the Jingle Ball. And then they have like speed dating, or you know, you can go in and join groups and talk with other stitchers. I was really busy that week and I didn't get to do any of that, and I'm really shy. I don't know if I can just be a online stranger and just join a group of people. And I know the cross stitch community is so welcoming, but it would have been difficult for me. Although I did have a coworker that I found out in the last couple months that works for the same company, also cross stitches. We're not very far from each other. We tried to get together, but it didn't work out over the holidays, so hopefully soon. But she did join a group, and I would have loved to have joined with her, but we were at the barn and I couldn't do it. But anywho, long story short, I did purchase the Stacy Nash gingerbread house. This is popping up all over. And when I bought this, I knew that I didn't want to do a sewing kit. I don't particularly love like little sewing kits like that, but I thought I would make it into a gingerbread house, like a pillow. And I was actually really happy to see that Nicole Spohr just did videos where she did that. And she had a pattern from Hands On Design that shows you how to make the house, which I'm really grateful for. So I made a little note because I'll probably buy that pattern to get the instructions to do the house. So I started that, and this is on 36 count Cafe LA. But I do have, I forgot, I do have the called for fabric coming. It's called Ween Beans, which definitely looks more like a gingerbread. So I'm not sure if I will restart it on that when that fabric comes, or if I will keep it on this. I don't know. I mean, this looks okay, don't you think? I didn't get super far. But the fabric that it calls for is definitely more gingerbread looking than mine. So, I don't know. I restart a lot of things, and it's such a waste of time, isn't it? Oh, okay. Was that it? Nope. One more. Okay. Now my last start, my little Haley, I was like trying to organize some patterns, and she was helping me, and she came across this one and she really wanted it. The Soda Stitch Treehouse of Winter. It's Soda Stitch Treehouse of Winter. And I forget, I purchased this maybe a year or so ago, probably to stitch for one of the kids. But she loves that. So I started this last night as well. And she picked the fabric. These are all of the DMC, very, very bright and colorful. And this is 32 count. Oh, what's it called? Powder Pink with White Dots Lugana. It reminds, it's like the Mint Splash, which is mint green. But she wants the pink fabric, so pink fabric is what she gets. And I just started at the very bottom here with the snow. Normally I like to start in the top left, but I was not about to start with those tree branches, so I will start at the bottom and work my way up. So this is just one of the blues, just one color. I only worked on it for a short little bit. I think that'll be cute. So we'll see. I won't get that done this winter, but she wants it, I'll stitch it. I really have to stitch something for my oldest. She has a couple of embroidery pieces that I've done, maybe only one, but I would like to cross stitch her something. Okay, so I think that's it for whips and new starts. I'm going to do haul, and I'm going to talk about plans for a little bit. But before I do that, I have to tell you, you've met Dexter, our newest little kitten that I rescued and didn't need, but rescued anyways. And he is so cute, and he's so photogenic. And in the fall, when he was a couple months old, I bought him this little kitty collar with a bow tie, and it had a little jingle ball. And I wanted to take pictures of him by the pumpkins on the front step. And so we did that. And then the pictures came out so cute. And I said to my husband, Pete, I'm like, I wish he belongs on, like, we need to make a calendar of all Dexter because he's just so cute. So a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, Pete texted me this link where there was a calendar where you could submit your photos of your cats, and they would select ones for the calendar for 2025, and Dexter got selected. So we are thrilled. So they came the other day. It's the paw print. It's a 2025 cat calendar, and I love I love those little paws. Hysterical. But you'll see, Dexter is October. Can you believe it? So of course I ordered so many of these. And I ordered one for my friend. You know, Dexter came to me from an old ICU nurse that I used to work with, and she ordered 3 calendars, and I'm going to give one to my friend Debbie, who's the secretary of ICU, but we're also very good friends. But I think for Debbie's, she doesn't stitch, so she won't see this. I'm gonna put Dexter's paw. He's what's the word when they have multiple toes? I can't think of my words today, but he's got 7 toes on his front paws instead of 5, so his paws are really big. You can see here. See, he's got 2 extra toes. But I'm going to put them on an ink pad, and I'm going to put them on the calendar, and I'm going to write love, like a heart, and then Dexter, like he's signing an autograph. I think she'll get a kick out of that, but isn't that funny? But this calendar, you can go on and look. There's some really cute cats in there, but they take the proceeds from it and it helps, they donate to shelters, they support like animal food banks, they help families with medical expenses like spay, neuter clinics. So it is for a good cause. It's like $20 a calendar, but anyways, it's not even about Flosstube, but I just wanted to tell you, like, it was so funny that he got chosen. Oh, I gotta put this, I don't know where that goes. All right, let's talk plans and haul. So what I decided to do, I don't do the book of days. I don't, it's not my aesthetic. I don't love the cover of it. So I just have this notebook that I started a couple of years ago, and you'll see, you know, I write like my whips from 2023. Then when I finish it, I write the date. You can see some that I UFO'd. The ones that are unchecked are still outstanding. And so I did quite a bit last year. It was like 19 whips from 2023. And I think I UFO'd 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I UFO'd 4. I don't know if I'll ever stitch those again. And one was a restart. And one was, I will restart. It was every opening flower, but it got a water stain on it. So that one I will restart maybe this year. But what I do is, then in 2024, I wrote my new starts. There was a lot of new starts. And you can see I finished, you know, quite a few. And then all of those that are unchecked, I carried over to this year. So you can see there were 4 from 2023 I'm carrying over. These are all the 2024 I'm carrying over. And then these are my 25 new starts, 2025 new starts. So with these 3 new starts, I have a total of 20 whips. I'm not sure if I'll do a whip parade. There's so many out there. I don't even know. Let me know. Do you want me to do a whip parade? Maybe I'll do one. But my plan is these 4 I absolutely want to get done this year. So I get up very early. It's my oldest. I get up very early in the morning, 4 o'clock. I just get up early anyways, but I always have at least an hour and a half to stitch in the mornings. I should be working out, but I don't. So I will work on one of these 4, whatever one I feel like it, every morning, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, until they're done. So I hopefully will have all 4 of these done for this year. And then after that, I will work on whatever I want, whether I want a new start, whether I want to work on one of these, except for Sundays, I'll do the sampler Sundays. And so I should hopefully be able to get, you know, some of these knocked out this year too. Some of these will be, you know, I'll definitely be able to finish. But I'm not going to limit myself. If I want to start something, I'll start it. And if I don't, I don't. And if I want to UFO it, I'm going to. That's kind of how I keep things organized, you know, when I started them. So for haul, I did get some Christmas patterns. I showed you the peppermint and pine with the 3 birds. Also got this from my mom. Really cute. And it didn't come with the little, I don't want to show it because I'll show the pattern, but like the buttons and the beads, and there's a snowflake. I did order those separately, and I used a little glue dot to hold it inside here so I didn't lose it. And I love this Lizzie and Kate sampler claws. Adorable. I want to stitch both of these. I love the bright colors and that little bird. Really cute. Don't know, maybe those will get started later in the year. Who knows? So many patterns. Let's see. So from the Jingle Ball, from Stacy Nash, they had these little thread keeps. And so I did order that, the snowman one. Oh, I should use that for a project I have in my bag coming up. And I ordered, let's see. Holiday Stroll by Teresa Koga. I have a lot of her patterns and I've never stitched a single one. I don't know why, but I like this. I think this was yeah, you can, honey. I think this was a freebie pattern. There's a lot of freebie patterns. Almost every designer had them. So that was fun. And then I purchased, this is also out, I think you can order at Stacy Nash Millie. My middle daughter Tara wants me to stitch this for her friend who loves elephants. It's one of the animal crackers. So maybe I'll get to stitch that. And then this I ordered before my last video, but it didn't come in time. I did order the Hello Santa by Teresa Koga. I mean, originally it was this green coat Santa that I love, and I do love that. But as I was flipping through it, I do want to stitch this one because it's amazing. It's called A Lot Like Christmas. And I love it. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. So I think I would stitch this one first. I don't know, has anyone done a little look through so people can see what's in the book? I like that one. I don't know if I like the little skateboard thing that he's on. I don't think I would stitch that. You know, and her books, they're treasures. I mean, oh, I just love them. Even if I didn't cross stitch, I would like her books just because the artwork in them is just beautiful. I like this one too. I don't like that knapsack with the stars or the toy sack. I'd have to change that. But I love the mustard yellow coat. Then what else is there? Santa's Big Bouquet. That one's kind of fun too. I definitely won't stitch all of these. And then of course the green coat Santa. But I do think, if I think about it, I have several of her books and I just haven't stitched anything, but it's a shame. I do think I would like to start. I love the border. I love the different patterns on the trees, the deer, and I don't know, these little birds. Are those turtle doves? I have no idea. But the border is really what sold me. So I would like to start that. However, I purchased a couple of other things I want to show you. And these are definite starts for me. One of which I will probably start in January. I went onto eBay and I ended up going down like a little rabbit hole on eBay. And Samantha with the Huga Stitcher had shown a couple of patterns on her, I think her last video or maybe the one before, and I fell in love. So this one is Mirabilia Crystal Christmas. It's designed by Nora Corbett. I love the fa la la along the bottom, and I love the little kids like just joyfully, gleefully dancing around this Christmas tree. Now they're little angels with the wings, and I'm not sure if I almost wish they didn't have wings. I just wish it was the little kids dancing. So I don't know if there was a way for me to be able to stitch this without having the wings, but the wings are cute too. So I found this on eBay. I think it is an out of print pattern, but you can get it on the secondary market. And then this one I'm definitely starting. This is, which I saw Samantha show on her channel. This is Lavender Lace Secret Santa. Yeah, Secret Santa. And this is Santa after the holidays are over. And he's taking a rest. And it says, "Oh Santa, dear Santa, your work is all done. The presents are given. It's time for some fun. Relax by the fire, enjoy the bright tree. Another year's over for thee and for me." But I love this. So I found it on eBay, and then it calls for some needle paint thread, which is very hard to find, but I'm pretty lucky because I had another pattern, lavender and lace pattern. I think it's lavender and lace, called Celtic Summer. It's one of the ladies with the beautiful dress and lots of beads, and I was going to stitch that for my mom, and that pattern also calls for needle paint threads, and when I looked at the numbers on this pattern, I'm like, oh, I think I have some of those, and I do. I have all of them except for one. So these are the needle paint threads. I am going to try to source the one thread I don't have. So I will definitely be starting this. Now this looks blue to me here, but maybe it's more of this purple color. I don't know. So I think there's some beads, some DMCs. I love his little striped socks here. I don't know, it's just really cute. I've never seen this pattern before, and I thought it was a little different, so I'm going to start that this year. I don't know when. But while I was on eBay, I went down this little rabbit hole, and I came across these P. Buckley moss patterns. And I've seen different things pop up from P. Buckley before, and but I decided to get these two, and I'm going to start them this month. This is Cameo Geese, and I love how it's framed with this triple matte. It's so simple. It's very January winter-esque kind of vibe, and I love that. So, and it's using DMC thread. And then the other one that I'm going to stitch and, you know, display both of them together is this Country Church. And I love it. I love them so much. And these patterns, you know, it's a 8x11 little booklet. And I won't show you the pattern, of course, but it folds up. And the pattern takes up, like, from here to here, 2/3 of it. It's massive. So, I mean, I'll make a working copy, but I haven't seen a pattern unfold like that in a long time. But this will be the one I'm going to start with first. And I ordered the same fabric that I'm using for my blessing sampler. I'm going to use, I think, for this, because that's pretty neutral without being like just white. So I love them. I don't know, something different to stitch. And I love these little horse-drawn wagons, carriages in the background, and the branches going off. I don't know, this screams winter. And you know, it's full-blown blizzard out there the last few days, so it's very fitting for the times. So I'm definitely going to start that soon. And then the only other things I ordered, Heaven and Nature Sing, Brenda Gervais. And I really love this, but then when I got it, I'm like, oh, she looks like a linebacker. Her shoulders are so broad. I don't know if I like that part of it, but I love the rest of it, so I'll probably still stitch it. I do love the little angel. And then the Holiday Meerkats from the Blue Flower. I can't even stand the cuteness. That'll be for one of the kids. And then this one reminds me of my grandmother, Candles of Christmas by Brenda Gervais. And I have a very dark fabric that I'm going to, I think I'm going to stitch this on. And this reminds me of my grandmother because she always had these, I think it was a grandma thing, because I heard a lot of floss tubers talk about it, but their grandmas had like little angel figurines, and my grandma did too. I don't know where those ended up. She's passed, but I remember them, and so this just makes me think of her. So no plans to start that anytime soon. And then the only other thing I ordered, which I will stitch for this year, is Lily Violette. It's Halloween time. Adorable. I don't like the super long nose though. That's going to be a cute little nose bump instead of that long nose, but I love it. Cute. And I think that is it. I don't know. Let me know if you want me to do a wet parade. I could certainly do, oh, I do, never mind. I do have a couple more things I want to show you. Things that I'm considering starting, because I have like the thread and everything. Snow Magical by Brenda Gervais. And I wanted to start this one for a long time. Paper Snowflake, I think it's called. Also by Brenda Gervais. Threads. And I have 40 count Tobias, which I know is the called for this, but I was thinking I can also use it for this. So I might start those soon. Or I wanted this for a while. I'm going to start this one, Snow Day by Brenda Gervais. And this is a beige gray 32 count fabric from XJU Designs. There's the called for DMC. Well, I'm going to set this one aside because I think I might start this today. And then this little one, Dirty Snowman by Not Forgotten Farm. Just a few DMC threads. So and I might use that little snowman thread keep to put these threads on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I might have just enough. Yeah, might be one short. This is just a scrap. I think this is 32 count Ren. I'm fairly certain, but I was thinking of stitching this on that. This is a little small. You know, it's January, time for all the snowman things. And I'm keeping that in a Goose bag. Look at how cute those little kids are. And the snowman. And then I just added this little angel charm. Because the angel should watch out for the little kids, right? So those are some plans. I mean, those are three or four that I, 1, 2, 3, 5 that I want to start all in the month of January, and I might do it. I might just do it. So let me know if you want me to do a whip parade, or are you over the whip parades? Because there's a million out there. I could do maybe a kit parade, or just keep going with the regular floss tubes. So thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope everyone is off to a great start for the new year. I will be back in probably about another month with another floss tube, unless I do like a special edition. And I hope everyone gets some good stitchy time in. Okay, bye.